what I've been doing for the last 8 years, asking for the empirical evidence, and then we'll be taking it a bit further than that. Sure, you... I have never used the word conspiracy. Never. No, the people who are using the word conspiracy, hang on just a minute here, the people who are using the word conspiracy are people like you, and it's quite often used to denigrate because the facts are clear. I have referred to bankers because the bankers are... Hang on, just, you asked me a question. Do you want me to answer, or are you going to... Would you like to come up and answer your question? Well, I'm trying to. Are you going to let me be... Are you going to be quiet and let me answer? This is a $1 trillion industry we are facing down, my friend. A $1 trillion industry. The major banks themselves have raised that very fact. And by the way, the chief executive of the CSIRO up until 2014 was on the advisory board of the Bank of America Merrill Lynch and the Rothschilds Australia Bank, and they have said that they will be seeking to make trillions of dollars profit from this scam on carbon dioxide trading certificates. Al Gore was a member, his company was one of the members of the Chicago Climate Exchange. Morris Strong, the criminal who died overseas in China, he was a member of the Chicago Climate Exchange. Goldman Sachs was a member of the Chicago Climate Exchange. Barack Obama, through the Joyce Foundation, has connections with that. These are facts. You want to use a C word, you go right for it.
Anti-Semitic website, and you're there on this podcast talking about the same things that you're talking about today. Has this got anything to do with, say, Jewish bankers? Is that what you're alluding to?
I have been very clear about that. Surely, if you've done that research, you would have read my extensive material saying there is no one religion involved. I haven't got nothing against any particular religion in regard to this climate scam at all. I'm working very closely and have worked very closely with prominent members of the Jewish community. Our founders of the Galileo movement actually are very close family links to the Jewish community. Susie Smead, who is one of the founders of the Galileo movement, escaped from the Holocaust camp when she was 2 years of age. And she told me in our first meeting that she's a Hungarian Jew. I love her dearly. I respect and admire the Jews. And for anyone like you to try and insinuate that a scientist and an engineer would want to further take the Jewish people into disregard after hundreds of years of being belted, murdered, and prejudiced is despicable. We are... You can link me to a website all you want, but I have never said anything against any specific religion in regard to this because I've never seen any evidence whatsoever. Is that clear? No evidence whatsoever linking this to any religion.
Again, I just want to follow up with that. First of all, I'm Jewish. I don't appreciate these sort of insinuations against Senator Roberts. Second of all, about the conspiracy thing, I always hear this thing of, you know, how can you take on 5,000, 10,000, however many thousand scientists? Well, the people doing the temperature data, it's just a very small handful of people. And these other 5,000 or 10,000 scientists we hear about all the time, their work, the quality of their work depends on this very small group of people, particularly at NASA, NOAA, and a few other groups, on the quality of their work. If the temperature data they're putting out is wrong, that impacts the quality of all of the climate research which derives off that. So that's why it's so terribly important that we look at this seriously. Why are they manipulating the data? Are their manipulations accurate? And how is that affecting the conclusions of this vast body of scientists?